The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good Friday morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee Time with Blind United. Man, TGIF, y'all. So anyway, y'all know I'm Ed, and we got Brittany with us today. Good morning, Britt.
Good morning.
And then we got Pedro.
Good morning, guys. Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. Brittany, you crack me up every time. Good morning. You notice I laugh a lot when you say that, right?
Yeah, I know that. Well, George always makes fun of me, and he'll be like, "Good morning." I'm like, right. Okay, George.
He's always got to get in there some kind of way. But anyway, let's get into the interest group thing. We got the movie night tonight. For those that have not seen it, I just recently seen it myself. It came out last year. Tyler Perry movie. What is it? The 688, 6888. It's a really, really good movie about World War II and black folks, joining the military and trying to do their part. So,
man, Tyler Perry's in everything. It's like darn near every movie that comes out, everything that's on BET, Tyler Perry is a part of.
He got his own studio down there. It ain't nothing for him to crank some stuff out, so... hopefully he's paying his people right. That's all I can say, because he definitely put them out, and he generally puts some pretty good stuff out, so I don't know. I'm waiting on a new Medea movie. I don't know. How about Medea in World War II?
I thought he retired. I could have sworn he did an interview where he said that he wasn't going to do the whole Medea thing. He was going to focus on other things other than Medea, and it seems like that's what he's doing, because he has a lot of shows and things, movies and whatnot.
Right, he's got a lot of TV shows and stuff as well, but at the same time, whenever he needs a couple $100 million, all you gotta do is put that dress on and get paid. That's just how strong of a character that is, so
So they're doing a Medea?
No. I'm saying that I'm waiting on one.
Oh, I think he said he's not gonna do those no more.
Well, but he said that before, and then he did it again.
Okay.
So who knows? Like I said, somebody come along with the right paycheck. We'll see. So. But yeah, no, this one is pretty good. I like the way he does some of this stuff as well, because this is just some from history, little known history facts, about black women, what they call them, they call all of them, what was it, WAC, Women's Army Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's a whole battalion, whatever, division, whatever, of these black females. And, of course, in World War II, a lot of racism and stuff going on, and, all that other kind of stuff. So this movie has got all that in it, but of course, just like in most other situations, the black women, black folks prevail in the end. So it's a good movie. So come on out, check that out with us tonight at 6 p.m. Get your favorite snacks, beverages, party favors, whatever it is, and kick back, relax, and enjoy a movie with us. So.
Sounds good.
So, in these articles today, I got a couple different directions I went with this. First, for those down in the South, I don't know. You guys heard about the winter front snowstorm that they're having down south?
Yeah, my dad told me that it's snowing in Florida. And I
Yeah,
was like, what? It was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. That part.
What?
Florida, Georgia, Louisiana. You know,
Texas?
well, I mean, yeah, a little bit in Texas. It's all up in the Carolinas. So anyway, let's run this one and we'll talk about it on the other end.
Today on Coffee Time, historic winter storm brings unprecedented snowfall to the south. As of January 23rd, 2025, the southern United States is reeling from a historic winter storm that has blanketed the region in snow, brought freezing temperatures, and caused widespread disruptions. Let's dive into the latest developments. Record-breaking snowfall. New Orleans, Louisiana. The city shattered records with 10 inches of snow, the most significant snowfall since 1948. Florida. Snowfall reached over 8 inches in some areas, leading to surreal sights like snow-covered palm trees. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Residents were treated to the rare image of snowy palms along the coast. Impact on daily life. The storm has left a lasting mark on transportation, power, and community activities. Travel chaos. Major highways were shut down, and thousands of flights were canceled, with airports in New Orleans and Houston completely halting operations. Power outages. Freezing conditions caused widespread power outages, leaving many residents without electricity. Postponed events. The NBA postponed a game between the New Orleans Pelicans and the Milwaukee Bucks due to hazardous weather. Safety concerns. Fatalities. At least 10 deaths have been reported, many due to hypothermia and road accidents on icy streets. Infrastructure struggles. The extreme cold has highlighted weaknesses in southern infrastructure, including heating systems and road maintenance. What's next? Cold conditions persist. The National Weather Service forecasts continued freezing temperatures through the week, maintaining icy roads and hazardous travel conditions. Call for caution. Residents are urged to stay indoors, avoid unnecessary travel, and prepare for extended disruptions. This storm is a stark reminder of how weather extremes can test the resilience of communities. For many in the South, snow is a rarity, and the effects of this storm will likely linger for days to come. What are your thoughts on this unprecedented weather event? Let's discuss how we can better prepare for extreme conditions like these. Now, back to the Coffee Time crew for their insights.
Uh, I mean, I don't know, maybe in my ignorance, and I own my ignorance when I portray it. But anyway, I didn't realize that folks down in the South didn't get a lot of snow. I mean, when I'm listening to what they're saying there in New Orleans, I mean, they got 10 inches, which 10 inches is not really a lot, but they said the last time they got anything close to it was almost 80 years ago. So Florida, okay, yeah, northern Florida, close to Georgia, stuff like that. Sometimes they get it, but when I was talking to Renee a couple of days back, she's in Albany, and she said she's been there since what, COVID, and this is the first time she literally seen snow since she's been there. So I didn't think it was that much of a rarity, but hey, I guess it is. I guess California is not the only place where it never snows.
Yeah, and these so-called weather phenomena, but what I call proof of weather patterns changing due to the pollution and other factors and stuff that we do to the planet, you know.
Right,
But
climate change.
yeah, climate change basically. So I don't know. It doesn't happen for them a lot. I thought it's like a an occurrence that happens almost every year.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It caught me off guard with that one as well. But hey, it
Yeah.
is what it is. So, if I remember right, Britt, your dad he's right there by Joy, right?
Yeah, yeah, but he goes to Georgia a lot, and he was saying like the top part of the state they are getting snow, like Pensacola, that area.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna say. Joy told me the same thing. She said it's really cold where she's at,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
it's more in the northern part of the state where they're really getting it. So
Yeah, but still, I mean, that's not normal for Georgia because my dad lived in Georgia for years too, and he said no, that's not normal at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
wow,
More evidence leading to climate change. Even with these winds that we were having, these cold, bone chilling winds that we were having. You know.
well, look out this weekend because we supposed to get some rain this weekend. So
Ooh, man, I didn't. Yeah, I heard that. I didn't really listen so much to see what participation, how many inches, or.
I didn't get that deep into it, but I'm being honest, just because of the recent fires, well, 'cause some of them are continuing fires. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, the water's going to help, with that to cool the temperatures, but at the same time, we just don't need a heavy downfall because we don't need this to turn into mudslides,
Yeah, there's not vegetation, and
So, but yeah, it's supposed to drop some water on us this weekend. So
mm,
be prepared for that as well, my brother.
okay, okay. So that means I need to take my raincoat. Go
Oh,
warm.
you got plans for this Saturday, Pedro?
Yeah, yeah. I got some plans. I gotta go to a meeting, and then they're having a get together, like a little
Ooh,
birthday thing
party at Pedro's or party somewhere.
somewhere. But I gotta do one of these meetings. But yeah. So okay. So we're expecting some showers. Oh wow. You know.
Yeah, but just be advised, be prepared. I mean, when I hear about it, I got that one umbrella that's fold down, compressible. It fits in my coach bag, so when I hear this kind of stuff, I just throw it in my bag and I'm good. You
Mm,
know, I mean, of course, because of the weather, I'm always going to have my leather jacket on, but leather works really good as a raincoat. Believe me, I trust and believe. It takes a whole lot for that water to soak through that leather and get to you. So, uh, uh,
yeah, yeah. I might take my jacket too, but it's not
so,
leather.
but well, the other thing is get that Scotch Guard, dog. Spray your jacket down. If it's made out of material, spray it down with Scotch Guard. It makes it waterproof.
Oh snap! We got tips. Helpful rainy tips with Ed Davis.
Spray your shirt. Your nice, well, like a denim jacket or goose down, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
You,
mm.
you spray it down with that Scotch Guard, and the water just runs off it. It's like you seen how water runs off a car that's been waxed.
Yeah.
Same process.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that water just sheens right off of it, so it don't get a chance to soak in.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but
I don't got like a jacket like that. It's like a windbreak type of material.
that ain't gonna work unless it's got some serious lining in it, homeboy.
I know. So I gotta see what I'm gonna do.
Okay, dude, them little thin jackets. I mean, they were cute when I was, riding my motorcycle during the summer. It was nice something to have, just have a nice little small jacket with me, in case I was out late.
Yeah, yeah, like a sports
Uh,
jacket, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, I had a few different kind. Plus, remember, I come from that older era, members only, and all that kind of stuff. So I had member only jackets. I had Lacoste jackets. They were thin. You know, like I say, little sport jackets, whatever, you know. So
Mhm. Mhm.
something I could put on and get on my motorcycle and look cute.
Yeah, yeah. And then also I was hearing over there some of our friends were saying they were like 29 degrees, 10 degrees in some parts, with this snow storm happening, you
Oh
know.
yeah,
So,
back in the Northeast, it's really getting bad now.
yeah, and then you got to think about it. This it's a rare occasion, so I mean, some folks may not have been prepared for it. Some of the infrastructure might not even be prepared for this type of snow because it doesn't happen every year, you know?
Right, right, right.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to. This is where I lead that we need a federal type program for these weather that are happening, meaning that how right now it was uninspected in these areas like in Florida and in Georgia and things like that. We need to start already building the infrastructure for the 21st century that could handle stuff like that, you
Well,
know?
I mean, I hear you. You know, it's just how can I say? I mean, you got being United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got states that deal with large snowfalls and whatever every year. So you take their experience, you know what I'm saying, and say, okay, well, look, it's not likely that you're going to have the same level that we get, but this is what you need, for these types of occasions,
Mm-hmm.
you know, stuff like that, So, I mean, I know a guy that used to live across the street from me. He worked for Caltrans, and he literally had a pickup truck that had I don't know if you want to call it like a plow or a snow, or a shovel, whatever, on the front of his pickup truck. And it was, on the hydraulics where he could just lower it down to the ground and push stuff out the way,
Mm.
like snow and stuff like that. So my point being, even there, New Orleans, 10 inches, right?
Mm-hmm.
You come through there with that pickup truck and push that stuff off to the side. You know what I'm saying? That's where it's not all out in the middle of the street. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people can drive through. I mean, I remember growing up, you never wanted to buy cars from the Midwest. Why? Because in the wintertime, they salt the roads. And the iodine in the salt, whatever it is in the salt, it becomes, it turns those Midwestern cars, man, they just get all kind of what we call body cancer. They
Mm-hmm.
rust because of that salt.
Mm.
So again, it's just different things. So they're coming up with newer ways to get away from them because they realize they're actually ruining people's cars with that stuff as well. So they're trying to find new techniques and stuff like that to, you know, create that grip on that black ice. So
Mm. Okay.
that's what that's all about. I don't know. You ever took an ice cube, Pedro, and put a string on it and sprinkle some salt on it?
No.
Well,
But I
that's
know there's a chain reaction gonna happen though.
well. I mean, the experiment is this: you don't wrap the string around the ice cube. You just lay it across the top,
Mm-hmm.
sprinkle some salt on it. The next thing you know, you can pick up the ice cube with the string.
Mm-hmm.
It'll still the salt makes it stick to the ice cube.
Mm.
You
Okay.
know, So my point being, same thing the salt is doing, and with people driving on the road, it's making the tires be able to stick to the road.
Mm.
So
And okay. Okay. And that note, guys, we will be back. We're cutting to a break.
Do you need assistance with iOS? Or are you curious what iOS is? Perhaps you're seeking tips and tricks on how to use JAWS on your Windows machine? Or maybe you would like to participate in our popular support group led by Dominic, or maybe join us for movie nights on Friday, where we watch and discuss the movie of the night. For more information, please email us at info@blindunited.org. Once again, that's info@blindunited.org. You can also follow us on Facebook for real-time updates and community interactions. We look forward to connecting with you.
Do you need to talk? Are you struggling with your mental health? Are you struggling with substance abuse issues? Call the Orange County NAMI Warm Line. That number is 877-910-9276. That number again is 877-910-9276.
All right. Got anybody popping in on us down below, Britt?
Yeah, we got a lot of comments. We got a lot of listeners this morning. Katie said, good morning. TGIF, God First said, good morning, everyone. Tisha also commented. Daniel Solis said, good morning, and he can't find something. And Katie also said, stories like this let all of us know that climate change is not a hoax, and it's not. And I mean, I guess I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent, but it seems like Donald Trump and his followers don't believe that there's such thing as climate change. And we need to fix all this stuff now. We can't wait 4 years until we can get a Democrat in there. We need to fix this stuff now. And I don't want to make this show political, so I'm going to shut up and sit in a corner.
Well, just one quick note about that is, it's how we're stepping back and forth in the world. Our word, we're losing our credibility with our word, because we keep pulling out, pulling in, pulling out. Countries are pretty soon are gonna be like, I'm not too sure. Should we do this with them now? Because they always sometimes pull out, pull in, pull out. No pun intended with the, you know what I mean? But just that, our word might be looking a little less in the world stage, I believe, with the
I
back
mean, I
and
think
forth.
we look very bad in the world stage. I mean, not to change the subject, but look at him pardoning all those January 6 people. Like, you got to understand, like, these people attacked police officers. It wasn't just a friendly protest. These people are bad people, and he pardoned like all these people. That looks really bad. What are the
Mhm.
history books going to say about us? I mean, if Trump and his cronies don't rewrite the history books, but that this looks really bad. Like, what does the rest of the world, how do they see us right now?
Right. Well, we're going to stick with some some political things for the rest of the show anyway. The next thing I got for you guys is I don't know who all may be aware or not aware, whatever. Donald is trying to change the Constitution, particularly the 14th Amendment, with an executive order. I'm sorry, you can't do that. So, anyway, let's run that one and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Today on Coffee Time, the 14th Amendment and the debate over birthright citizenship. The 14th Amendment, ratified in 1868, is a cornerstone of American civil rights, establishing the principle of birthright citizenship and enshrining protections under its equal protection and due process clauses. Yet, the concept of birthright citizenship has come under renewed scrutiny in modern political discourse. What does the 14th Amendment say? The first section of the 14th Amendment declares, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Key components include birthright citizenship. Anyone born on U.S. soil is granted citizenship with limited exceptions, e.g., children of foreign diplomats. This principle was upheld in the landmark 1898 Supreme Court case United States versus Wong Kim Ark, affirming that children born in the U.S. to non-citizen parents are citizens under the 14th Amendment. Equal Protection Clause ensures all persons within the U.S. receive equal protection under the law. Due Process Clause prohibits states from depriving individuals of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Can a president end birthright citizenship by executive order? The short answer, no. Constitutional limitations. The president cannot override the Constitution. An executive order seeking to end birthright citizenship would directly conflict with the 14th Amendment and face immediate legal challenges. Amendment process. Changing constitutional provisions requires approval by 2/3 of Congress and ratification by 3/4 of state legislatures, a far more complex process than executive action. Historical and legal context. Former President Donald Trump suggested in 2018 and during his 2024 campaign that he might use an executive order to end birthright citizenship for children of undocumented immigrants. However, legal precedent. The Supreme Court's decision in Wong Kim Ark firmly supports the interpretation that birthright citizenship applies broadly, even to children of non-citizen parents. Debate over original intent. While some argue that the framers of the 14th Amendment did not foresee its application to undocumented immigrants, the amendment's language and legal interpretation suggest inclusivity. The political and legal reality. Efforts to reinterpret or limit birthright citizenship spark intense legal and political debate. Any significant change would require a constitutional amendment, a process requiring broad political consensus, a Supreme Court ruling overturning established precedent, which is unlikely given the weight of existing case law. Final thoughts. The 14th Amendment's protections remain a vital part of the American legal framework, ensuring citizenship for those born on U.S. soil and upholding essential civil rights. Efforts to end birthright citizenship through executive action are legally untenable and would likely fail in court. What are your thoughts on the debate surrounding birthright citizenship? Is the 14th Amendment's interpretation still relevant today, or do you see room for change? Let's discuss. Now, back to the coffee time crew for their insights.
Me personally, I'm good with the 14th Amendment the way it is. Anybody that's born here, they have the right to be here. The one case they kept talking about was, like I say, it was a couple of, I don't know if they were Chinese, Japanese, whatever the case may be, but they were here ambassadors from that country, right? And they had a child while they was here, evidently they served over here for many, many years. And at some point, that child wanted to stay, and bottom line, because he was born here, he was granted citizenship, I've often heard of, in those types of situations where people have like a dual citizenship, right? So, but no, I don't have a problem with it. And I don't, Donald Trump, I don't know what it's crazy to what he's got going on, and it ain't gonna work. I think his goal at this point is knowing he'll never get the congressional or state backing to get it done, because, like you said, you need 2/3 of the Congress, and you need 3/4 of the states to ratify a constitutional amendment. And he's not going to get all that.
Yeah.
He's just not going to get it. So I think his goal at this point is to try and get this to bubble up to the United States Supreme Court, where he's got a pretty good majority over there, and we never thought they would overturn Roe versus Wade, but they certainly did. So
Yeah, but you have some Trump appointed Supreme justices that are not agreeing with him also. So it, they it's not a popular thing, and that's what there's a misconception about Trump being a right populist, and he's not. Also, I know Brittany had a lot of opinions. Brittany, any words you want to put in?
Tisha commented, she said that Ludacris has dual citizenship. His wife is from Africa. But I want to know, did this man even read the Constitution? Does he even know how the government works? Does
I
he?
don't even think he knows how to read, but that's just my opinion.
Right. Like, I mean, that's all I have to say. I mean, and then part of me thinks like maybe this is just, he's running this country like it's a reality show. Like, oh, let's just, okay, well, I know there's a lot of racist people who don't like immigrants, so let me say, oh, okay, let's get rid of birthright citizenship. Let me just make it look like I'm doing something. I don't know. I have no faith in this man, and the next 4 years are going to be real interesting. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you could tell the way our government's going to be run when they tell you, "Oh, we're here to help the American people and save their money and things like that," but then they sign an executive order to not to lower prescription prices. How is that helping the American public? You know. Also, um, I don't think he knows how our government is ran. Also, he says he has respect for the Constitution, where he has called for the suspension of the Constitution. So that's not having respect. That's not honoring our founding fathers. To call himself American and trying to suspend the Constitution is not American. It's not. You know, I don't know. I feel like the party on the right it's kind of torn in a way. They kind of pulling each other back and forth. The party of the Constitution, less government, less overreach, but it seems like it's less overreach for the less oversight for the billionaires, but telling us regular citizens what to do, what app we can use, and stuff like that, and abortion rights, telling us what can you do with your body. What about later on to tell us no tattoos? Tattoos are illegal. You know, it could open the doors to those type of of concepts and questions for people
Right.
that are not a populist.
I agree. I agree. But the only thing I don't agree is that I don't think he's going to have any power in 2 years. There's so many people pissed off at him now. By the time the midterms roll around, he's going to lose the House and the Senate,
Hmm.
and then
Yeah,
he got no power.
yeah. It seems like that in politics, the pendulum swings back. Sometimes it goes to the extreme left or extreme right, but it always swings back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but no, I mean, again, he's overreaching his power. He doesn't have the power to do a lot of this stuff that he's doing. I mean, this is why I think he's only been in office since Monday. Here we are Friday, and I think he's already had over 1,000 lawsuits filed against him
Mm.
because of his executive orders. So this other one we got coming up is a little crazy as well. So let's go ahead and run these other commercials, and then we'll see. You see this other one that he tried to change up on us. Well, he was able to change up on us with the executive order.
Okay.
Hustling jingles, $10 a shots. Birthday beats and holiday knocks. Gotcha covered for the ones you love. Personalized joy like a custom glove. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford. Got a catchy tune for your babe. Poppin' beats like dreams we crave. For Mama's Day or Papa's cheer, let's make smiles from ear to ear. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford.
you can go to customcane.com. That's custom with a K, guys. And what Custom Cane does is they sell cane and cane accessories. It's like Burger King. You can have it your way. You can get a pink cane, a blue cane, a rainbow cane, a Broncos cane, a Chargers cane, a cane with the Braille alphabet, a cane with your name on it. Whatever you want, whatever type of handle you want, whatever type of tip you want. If you want an aircraft aluminum cane, if you want an all-terrain cane, telescoping cane, any type of cane, Custom Cane has it.
So before we get into the next one, Britt, anything down below? Maybe we lost Brittany.
Wait, we have a comment. Tisha said, don't be making fun of her baby daddy, Donald Trump. And we're not making fun of him. We're just critiquing him. And he's probably not even president. It's President Elon, you know.
Either way.
Either
way, so. All right, well, this next one is he was able to pull guidelines, restrictions from where they can.
But hold on, Ed. That's a good thing. I was talking about the Elon Musk. I was doing something up. What's your opinions on what they're talking about? Not being so vague on the wording of what type of salute he made, but what's your opinions on what's going on with that individual and the pictures that are online right now?
Well, I mean, my personal opinion, I mean, he's like Donald Trump, man. I mean, he likes to create controversy. He likes to be in the spotlight. He wants his name, people to be talking about him, whether it's good or bad, you know. So, I mean, do I feel that he's actually a white supremacist? I mean, it's possible. He's from South Africa. I mean, you got to remember, you know, when South Africa had apartheid going on, you know. So, you know, could be some remnants of that in there as well, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I just think he's doing a lot of stuff for shock and awe. You know, they feed into their base.
Yeah. And yourself, Brittany, what you think? She's on mute. But in my opinion, okay, if he's jumping around and probably one time, I guess you could say he probably looked bad in the angle, or he's just jumping around, whatever, right? And he's autistic, you know. But 2 times, you know, what's the excuse for the 2 times?
Well,
You
I mean,
know,
again, you know, again, shock and awe. You know what I'm saying? Controversy. You know, standing in that spotlight. You know, I mean, look at what he did with the algorithm on X. You know, to where, you know, he created an algorithm where all of his stuff gets, you know, posted and reposted and all this other kind of whatever, boom, boom, boom. You know, so he's like the superstar of X, right? Even though he owns it, but he's #1, you know, contributor or whatever as far as postings are concerned, you know, just because of the way he manipulated the algorithm, you know. So
yes,
he loves the spotlight, dog. That's what it is. He loves that spotlight. So that's my opinion on it anyway. So
okay.
But, so now this next one, I mean, for those that didn't know, there was a thing put in place many years ago where you could not go into like schools and churches and go after, you know, immigrants, right? So Dave, with one of his executive orders, he did away with that. So the next article is about some schools, you know, knowing that now it's possible that, you know, ICE can come into these schools. They're trying to prep. So check this out.
Today on Coffee Time, schools prepare for potential ICE actions after policy change. In January 2025, the Trump administration rescinded policies that had designated schools as sensitive locations, limiting immigration enforcement actions in these areas. This policy reversal has sparked significant concern among educators, students, and families, prompting schools across the country to implement new strategies to safeguard their communities. Schools respond to policy changes. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, North Carolina. The district is developing detailed protocols to address potential immigration and customs enforcement, ICE, actions on campuses. The aim is to protect students while maintaining a secure and stable educational environment. Denver Public Schools, Colorado. Principals have been instructed to initiate lockdown procedures if ICE agents arrive on campus. This measure is intended to prioritize student safety and minimize disruption during any enforcement actions. New Jersey school districts. School attorneys have advised superintendents to prepare for potential changes in ICE practices. Districts are creating policies to protect undocumented students and their families, ensuring that access to education remains unaffected. Legal protections and advocacy efforts. The 1982 Supreme Court ruling in Plyler v. Doe guarantees the right to a public K-12 education for all children, regardless of immigration status. Despite this, immigrant families face growing anxiety due to the policy changes. Advocacy groups are organizing Know Your Rights workshops to educate families about legal protections and to prepare them for potential encounters with immigration authorities. Community and educational impact. The policy change has raised fears of disruptions in schools, impacting the mental health and academic focus of students from immigrant families. Schools are stepping up efforts to reassure these communities by emphasizing their commitment to providing a safe and inclusive environment. Conclusion. With the removal of sensitive location protections, schools are taking proactive steps to address potential ICE actions, balancing legal obligations with their mission to provide a secure learning space for all students. Through clear protocols, advocacy, and support for families, educational institutions are working to uphold their responsibility to safeguard students' rights and well-being. What are your thoughts on the implications of this policy change? How can schools and communities collaborate to protect vulnerable students? Join the conversation with the Coffee Time crew.
Well, I mean, myself personally, I think this is a disgrace. As the article stated, that it's a right for these, whether citizens or non-citizen, whatever, they have a right to an education, a K-12 education. Now you're turning that into you're turning into like fish in a barrel kind of thing, right? I mean, it to me is truly sad, and I mean, what's going to happen is what these immigrant children, they just not going to be going to go to school. The parents are going to keep them home. They're going to try to keep everybody undercover, whatever, because of these types of new policies that this administration is trying to put out there on these folks. So, I mean, it's really sad. So,
Yeah, and we do have some comments.
yeah. Well, I got Monica, and then she said good morning, and Katie says, our forefathers, they understood about defining citizenship, so.
Yeah.
Tisha talking about quit buzzing on her baby daddy, so.
No, but yeah, like you would think, like Katie said also in a comment, that we were told that he's going after criminals. Fine, right? But why are you taking this executive order? Are these kids criminals? These kids are minors. Plus, you're putting more stress on kids, even kids that are here legally. Now you have agents coming in, even all with their tactical, whatever it may be, weapons or whatever, with their ice jackets and all that, inside of a public school where kids are, where minors are at. Do we need to cause them more stress? We also have, even on top of that, with the school incidents we're having with these youngsters going in schools with deadly weapons. So it's like, do we need to put more stress on the young crowd, on the youngsters coming up, on the kids? I think with all this stress, that's why we have certain blowbacks with youngsters trying to go in schools with deadly weapons, and we have certain incidents. We don't think how this can affect the kids in school with their mental health. you know Mental health always seems to be the last thing that we think about when we make moves, and when the government makes moves, and we wonder why we have young kids and youngsters all stressed out, all with these things that they do. Um, we have to take mental health in the scope, because even take consideration that our founding fathers already had talked about this and put it in our constitution. And
Exactly. I mean, again, it's again, the school, churches, whatever, they supposed to be safe havens, sanctuaries, for a number of reasons, right? But again, this just for whatever reason, like you said, these kids, especially, I mean, even if they're not here legally, let's say they came over as a child. I mean, so what? You gonna lock up a child because a person took their child with them to go rob a bank? You're gonna charge the child with accessory to bank robbery? You know what I'm saying? The child is gonna go where the parent tells them to go. You
yes,
know,
correct.
so you can't necessarily hold it against these kids because their parents decided to come over here for a better life.
Yeah, and also think, let's look at their stats right now. They want the immigrants gone, but then they want HB1 visas so they could bring immigrants to do these jobs that they don't want to pay American workers. They have the money to pay these American workers for these jobs, but they want to bring these immigrants and these visas so they could hang this thing on top of them. Oh, well, you work for me, you work this much hours, you have to answer my call when I call you in the middle of the night, whatever it is, you got to work these long hours. Otherwise, I don't need you to work here. And bye bye, back to your country. It's a way of of there's a different word for it. I'm blanking on the word, but basically it's having a worker that is in your beg and call with no.
What is it? It's called in servitude. You
There
know
you-
what I'm saying?
exactly. There
You
you
know,
the word I'm.
um, so I mean, and then on the flip side of that, I mean, where they're talking about with the M2 visas or whatever it is, the more advanced technical stuff. Elon saying, "Oh, well, we need to bring these Indians in, or these other folks, these computer engineers, and all this kind of stuff. They're smarter, yada yada yada." No, it ain't got nothing to do with that.
Not
They work cheaper.
Yeah, they work cheaper, longer hours, because they push them to work they don't have a say so.
They get that same axe hanging over their head. Hey, either you got to work this 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, we're going to
Six.
send you back to India, you
Yeah,
know. So, I mean, it's just that simple, and we're only going to pay you $10 an hour,
yeah, the hypocrisy that
you
that
know.
that that is
So,
showing right there, right?
something else that came up, and, it's kind of in the same, line with, all that they're trying to do with the immigrants and, and all this other kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Actually, Monica sent it to me uh, about them authorizing bounty hunters
Oh, I heard.
to wrangle up illegal immigrants, and they get $1,000 a head for every successful deportation. So you just basically created open season for people to go out and hunt immigrants.
Have you seen
How?
this in history, Ed? I know you're a history buff and you like history. Have we
Well,
seen
I mean,
this in history any other
yeah, back
time?
in the slavery days, you had the slave catchers and stuff like that. That's what they did. They went out and they got the slaves and brought them back to the plantation, and they got paid a bounty for doing so.
What about early Germany in the 1900s?
Well, I mean, I'm not really into what they did over there, other than they put people in concentration camps just like the Americans did over here with the Japanese. But then, Germany themselves, they ended up turning them concentration camps into death camps. To
Mm,
where once they got them all in, these camps, now they just started executing them.
mm.
So I mean, again, I don't know that there was a bounty on people back then. You know, but again, I just think it is totally wrong for to put a bounty on somebody just because they're here trying to have a better life. Now, I mean, again, if you want to go down to the police department or whatever justice center and whatever, and bring up the list of ones that have actually committed crimes, okay. I mean, I can almost agree with that one, but Jose down the block, I mean, is just trying to make a better life for his family. You know what I'm saying? Leave that man alone. You know what I'm saying? That man is not only performing services here, he's probably got a job where he's not getting paid under the table. So he's paying taxes that he's never going to be able to file a tax return on, right?
And
And
paying
then
into our sales tax and all that.
he gets still on top of that, he's paying sales tax every time he fills up his gas tank, every time he goes to the store and buys groceries or whatever. He's paying sales tax. So he's contributing to our economy. And now you want to penalize him and send him back home.
Yeah, and another thing they're doing is doing jobs that Americans don't want to do too.
Well, I mean, yeah, they've been, and that's always been the case ever since slavery ended. Again, when the first thing they did was sharecropping. Where okay, well, you have to produce so much stuff in order to get paid, and by the time they get through jugging the books, okay, well, we gave you so much seed, and then to run it all through the cotton gin, it costs this much money. Next thing you know, you ain't even paid your tab for the year before. So you actually lose money. So, I mean, again, it's people in power always consistently trying to find ways to manipulate people that, that are, living in vulnerable states. The poor, the uneducated, whatever the case may be. It's just truly, truly sad that they do stuff like this, and
Yeah,
you
it's a
know,
tactic. It's a tactic that I feel the billionaire class and the leadership is using. Like you look at them, they got your jobs over there. There's the reason why your eggs, or they're the reason why it's expensive. Them over there. But where is the money concentrating at? Where's the money that is concentrated? Where is it at? We
up
know
at the
where's it
top,
at the top. And it's not trickling down like the trickle down economics.
it
No,
never has. The trickle down economics was just a big hoax. It never did trickle down. You
no, it
know,
never did.
but let's go here. All of these same folks up on top that own all these corporations or whatever the case may be, every time we spend money, they make money. So why does it have to trickle down when it automatically trickles up? You know what I'm
It,
saying? We
yeah,
don't
and
have
that's
to create one where we're giving them a break, is my point, because they're ultimately in business to make money. And when we spend money, they're going to make money. So why do we need to give them a break? We don't need to give them a break.
yeah, correct. You're right. And um, it's like that trickle down economics. It never made sense because when you fill up a bucket of water, right? It fills up from the bottom going up. Everything do. Everything. A well, everything. So to be like, oh, I'm just gonna throw it up and it's gonna trickle down. It's not gonna work. If you're trying to fill something up, it's gonna start from the bottom and filling up. You know,
Well,
and I think like
uh,
our that's how our economics should work. Help the bottom because who has the most bills? Let's say, you gave $2,000 to a rich dude and one to a poor dude. The poor dude is gonna be like, man, I gotta go pay my rent. Well, with this extra money, I gotta pay my bills. Here's some for my credit card. Here's that for that. Here's that for that. And a rich person is like, well, I already have over here extra $2,000 that I've been have. So these other $2,000, I'm just gonna save them. I'm gonna put it here away. And then the poor person is spending on their bills, buying clothing, buying whatever it needs to do, groceries. That money is going up to the person. First, it's the store. The store ends up buying products. Those products come from other corporations, and it keeps going up and up and up. You know.
well, I mean, it's just like again, me being a little older. I don't know if you remember when Bush was doing the bailouts before Obama,
Mm. Mhm.
uh, and he gave out billions and billions of dollars to all these corporations and all that stuff, right?
Mhm.
And under the banner of stimulating the economy, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I can't remember what the numbers were, whatever, but I can remember it came out cheaper if you'd have gave every person in the United States $100,000. Number one, you'd have come out cheaper in the amount of money that was put out. Number two, every person with that $100,000, they finna stimulate the economy. Whether they gonna pay their bills, and do the responsible thing, or whether they, what, I'm gonna go buy me a brand new Cadillac, whatever.
Mhm. It's
They're
true.
they're putting money into the economy,
Mhm. Mhm.
you know. So I mean, again, we would have came out cheaper, and
Wow.
the responsible people could have got some bills up off their back, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
stuff like that. The irresponsible people, they could have went and bought them a brand new Cadillac that's going to break down in 5 years, you know.
And
Uh,
wow, wow. So they just gave it all to the bankers.
yeah, they gave it to the
Wow.
corporations.
But see that the mentality and the thinking, and then we have to plan these bills and how we're gonna give this money out. And the same people that this money is gonna go to, like the bankers, were in the room making these bills.
I mean, why do I, as a city, have to give Walmart a tax break for them to build a store in my city?
Yeah, yeah.
That don't make sense.
The number one grocery like company in the United States, the number one company, also has half or a little more of it of their workforce is in some type of government assistance because they don't want to pay a fair wage.
I mean, it's just that simple. So, anyway, we got about a minute left. I'm up top. You want to go down and check and see if we got any closing comments?
Let me check it out.
While I remind everybody, we got this movie night tonight. Again, that'll be 6 888. It's an amazing movie. I really enjoyed it. Come on out, check us out, hang out with us, enjoy the movie. You know, get your snacks, dinner, party favors, whatever you do while you watch a movie. And, we'll hang out a little bit after the movie and, talk about how some things have changed and some things have not changed, right? So, anyway, what you got, my brothers?
Yeah, if the super rich pushed out, if the super rich causes out pushes out the bottom, they will fall too, and that's true. It's very true.
We're holding them
Um,
up.
yeah, we're the foundation on their what they have built on its feet.
Right.
And I don't know. It's it it's like we're seeing it with division within party lines, We're seeing a division within ethnicities and things like that, and all that I keep seeing is our leadership pointing fingers and pointing fingers, especially one keeps pointing fingers and saying it's that them fault. But he's been found liable for a fraud, for even grape and other things like that. So to
You know what a
keep
wise person told me a long time ago, Pedro?
mm,
Every time you point your one finger at me, there's three fingers on that same hand that are pointing right back at you.
hey, yeah, yeah, and
Okay, so on that note, it is Friday, y'all. So TGIF. I hope everybody enjoys their weekend and do something interesting. If you're here in the Southern California with us, do your best to stay dry. All that kind of stuff. So we're gonna do what we can to make it happen, and we're gonna see you again on Monday morning. So on behalf of Blind United and Brittany, Pedro, thank you everyone that commented in the comments section. And as always, in closing, please, please, please like, subscribe, follow, hit that notification bell, comment, share, all of that stuff. Whatever platform you're on, do whatever you can on that platform. It really, really, really helps to get the algorithms out there for us to be able to have our stuff, viewed by more and more people. So we really appreciate you. On that note, my brother Pedro, you have a great weekend. And we will see you guys on Monday morning.